Are you working with someone you can't stand? We've all been there. Working with people I want to punch in the throat has been called relatable and laugh out loud hilarious. Read the stories about all the crazy people Jen Mann has worked with over the years. Find out who she wants to punch in the throat. Working with people I want to punch in the throat is now available everywhere books are sold.
Hi, welcome to Two Midlife Mommas.
I'm Jen Mann.
And I'm Denise Grover-Swank.
Welcome to our podcast.
You know what? I think we used to say our names and then we said welcome to Two Midlife Mommas. I totally switched it up.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's after that would have been perfect to discuss with our rep. We switched it up.
It's our podcast. We can do what we want.
Do what we want.
We still don't have any sponsors, so we answer to literally no one.
I know, right? We can do whatever we want. So those of you who haven't paid attention or we've recorded several, we usually record several podcasts in one day.
Yes.
And then they air. And so we've recorded several already, but this is our first day back since November. So
yes.
Because we were supposed to record in December and then I canceled. So.
Life got in the way.
Yeah. So, but one thing that I truly enjoyed about, the Advent season was I found an Advent wine calendar at Costco. So the year before, I had heard about Aldi's has a wine Advent calendar, and they sold out in one day. So one of our favorite pastimes as a family is to go to Costco together. As strange as that is, but it's
how do we never see you there? That's our pastime.
Cheap entertainment for my children. Cheap. I say cheap, but they're oh, let's get this. Can we have that?
$300 later.
Yeah. But we saw, my oldest son, when he goes, he always wants to go through the wine section, and we saw this Advent calendar. So I was mega excited for my Advent wine calendar. And so for the first few days, I was drinking a bottle, and they're tiny bottles. So
that somebody makes me. She's showing me a 6-inch bottle.
Yeah, you get 2 glasses of wine.
Okay.
So, so in the first few days, first week or so, I was drinking my wine every night, feeling all sophisticated, drinking my nightly wine, and not feeling guilty because I opened a bottle of wine. And if I only had 1 glass, it wasn't wasting very much. So.
Right.
But then towards the end, I wasn't drinking it very often. So yeah. So I still have a bunch of my Advent wine left over.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So yeah. So it was pretty good. They were all European wines, so I felt uber sophisticated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, I live on the Kansas side of the border, and we don't get wine at our Costco or our Aldi.
What? I didn't realize that. Oh my gosh.
So I hear about these Advent calendars,
and I come to Missouri.
I know, and so I never get any, which is stupid because I live a mile from the border. So you'd think I could find a Costco over here, but you know, I got to do that someday.
So Jen lives in Kansas, and I live in Missouri, and we're 30-40 minutes apart? Yeah. So but there's a lot. So the best shopping in the Kansas City area is over in Kansas, because that's where the money is, Johnson County, right? And so for a while, every time I had to go to Kansas, it was a big deal. I'm oh my God, I have to drive to Kansas today. I get there and I'd be what in the world is the fuss about?
Yeah, I'm that way. But I think the thing is I don't like wine enough to make the trek. Maybe that's it.
Well, and I found too, Missouri people stay in Missouri and Kansas people stay in Kansas, and we don't cross the border very often.
Oh no, there's a real rivalry there.
Yeah,
it's crazy that we're even doing this together.
Yeah. Should be
we're the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Mortal enemies.
No. Yeah, it is weird though. This is a weird town that people will not. Because I come over to the Missouri side a lot because I have a lot of family over here.
Yes.
And so I come over here a lot. But people act like I live so far away.
I know, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so, but my kids they go to school down close to state line. Literally right on state line. So I've gotten more used to being in Kansas, so it's not as big a deal as it was a year and a half ago.
Right.
So, yeah.
We're not too scary, hopefully.
No.
And so you guys have all the wine at your Costco, but we get Trader Joe's.
I know. I'm so jealous.
It's like a trade-off. Yeah. But we still don't get wine at our Trader Joe's.
I've only shopped in a Trader Joe's once.
Oh.
I know, right?
You gotta come back over.
I know. I'll have to go grocery shopping in Kansas.
Please do. Please come over and grocery shop. You'll be shocked, though. Our taxes are higher, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It really sucks, but what can you do?
What are you going to do? Gotta pay for those roads and those schools.
Yeah, we have that, I guess.
Crazy things.
But I wanted to know if you are doing, so you have all this wine left over.
Yeah, I do. I got a wine fridge.
You did?
Full. I have a wine fridge in my kitchen, and it's full.
Okay.
It's plumb full, and I have extra wine that doesn't even fit in the fridge.
So are you doing like what is it, dry January?
Yeah, okay. I never heard of dry January until like a couple days ago, and someone posted on it on Facebook. No, I'm not doing dry January.
I wonder if that's why you stopped with your advent calendar. No,
I had never heard of it.
You just ran out of juice. I can't be bothered to drink any more wine.
As I've gotten older, wine makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
Okay, so like New Year's Eve, my 22-year-old daughter and her boyfriend spent New Year's Eve with us. And so we cooked a bunch, like we traditionally make a bunch of appetizers and just stay home. And so we were making those, and Austin came over, and I was like, Austin, if I open a bottle of wine, would you want some? Because he's 22, he can drink. And he says, yeah. And so I asked him if he liked red or white, and he I got it all. He liked red, so I opened a bottle, and he had a glass, and I had a glass, and then I poured myself another glass, and then we decided we were going to watch a movie, and it was like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And they were trying to figure out a movie. I fell asleep.
Oh, yeah. No.
And when I woke up, it was after midnight.
Woo! Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. No, but I talk about wine a lot on Facebook.
Right.
I talk about drinking wine a lot. And I'm like, if people, like if I drink as much wine as I talk about, I would be like a total lush. But,
me too.
Yeah. So.
I think it's more like, it's funny because I'm pretty honest about a lot of stuff, but I do make a lot of jokes about alcohol that if you really saw how much I drink, you'd be shocked.
Right?
Because I really don't drink a whole lot.
Well, and before this, I told you I had not had any alcohol in 2020, but I just realized that was a lie.
Uh-oh.
Because my friend Don Walton and I and Julia went to Cooper's Hawk on New Year's Day.
Oh, you have some sort of membership or something, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I forgot about that. That was actually in January and not December. So
I was trying to think too. I didn't think I had either, but I've gone out with. I'm more of like a social drinker. Like, I don't
me too.
My husband doesn't drink, so it's kind of weird. Like if we're home, like for me to just drink by myself. Like I feel like I'm drinking by myself because he's not like joining me or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's the type of person, like he cracks me up because he chooses not to drink. He doesn't like to drink, but yet if we have like I'll have like beer or wine in my house.
Yeah.
And he's on me constantly. He's like, we should probably drink that wine. We should just get rid of it. And I was
like, you're not gonna drink it.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? And like the other night, he like came in our bedroom and he had like, I don't know, somebody left like some sort of like canned margarita at our house, which by the way, gross, but okay. That was left at our house.
Well, I was a little excited about that, but okay, all right.
Super gross. And that was the reason why it was still sitting in my fridge, because it's gross.
Okay.
And he comes in the bedroom and he's slamming that shit. And I was like, dude, calm down.
You're like, what are you doing?
And he's like, we gotta get rid of this stuff. He's like, we have so much to this. He's like, we have so much booze. And I was like, Lord, you don't have to drink it all tonight.
That's kind of like me with cake. We got all this cake. I just need to get rid of it, so I better eat it. So I'm not tempted to eat it.
We can't let this go to waste. But I was like, you're going to get drunk or sick. Like, and within 20 minutes, he was asleep. He was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's what it does to you, buddy. But I think, like, I'm not going dry because I drank. I didn't know about this either. It's funny because I heard it. I've seen it on Facebook a little bit, and I've seen people say like, I've been 9 days. At first, I thought somebody was like really trying to be sober, so I was like, oh, good for you,
Right.
And she was like, I know, I can't wait till January's over, and I'm like,
wait, that's not how sobriety works.
I was like, but I don't think what. And so then I realize that she was more like a challenge. And then I heard today on the radio on the way over here for my long drive from Kansas. Yeah. I heard them talking about it, and they were saying how it's like, I packed a lunch. And they were talking about how they how it's gaining traction, this thing, and that you'll feel so much better if you stop drinking for a month. And I thought, I think that only works like if you drink a lot. Like maybe I feel better if I gave up sugar.
Right.
Like, yeah. It has to be something you do every day.
Right. Or like very often.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I had all that Advent wine and I took it to the lake with me. I'm like, oh, I can't waste it. Right. Like I said, I never drank any of it. Although a friend of mine sent me 2 bottles of wine for Christmas. So I drank one here and I took the other there. And I drank quite a bit of it the first night I was there and was feeling pretty good. But like, I don't think I may have had like 1 glass of wine after that.
Yeah.
From like December 20th to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then that glass of wine. And then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And then I'm not drinking every day or even sometimes I'll go weeks without having a drink. So yeah, I'm more social. Or like if I'm like, sometimes I really like the taste of wine. So sometimes I'll be in the mood for it and I'll drink it at dinner or, you know, while I'm cooking, just 1 glass. And yeah.
I think that's something, because I wrote about this a few years ago on my blog about like why I drink and when
and I think that's really good to look at and why you drink.
Yeah. And I was gonna
why you drink, not me.
But I think that's part of like the dry January thing is like
reevaluate.
Like, and so I think that's a good thing to think about, especially now. Like you and I, like you said, you have kids who are old enough to drink. Yes. You have teenagers who are watching you and learning from you. Yes. And so it's like, to me, it's like they're watching and they're mimicking, or they're hearing what you're doing, they're seeing what you're doing, and they're just like, gee, mom, needs a glass of wine every single day at 4 o'clock.
Well, and I will say that there was a time that I used wine medicinally.
Yeah, I think a lot of women
when I was going through like perimenopause, like, and my PMS would be like raging and out of control, I would drink a glass of wine to like take the edge off, and it totally worked. So, like a couple days a month, I was having my wine while I cooked, because I was just like so stressed out.
Well, and I noticed too, especially when my kids were small, there were a lot of play dates where we would like meet up at someone's house where everyone could walk home from.
Oh,
and we would like, and the hostess would be serving booze at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the first time it happened, I was sort of like, oh, is this what moms do? Like, is this what we're doing now?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I'm just really stressed. And I was like, I'm not, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I get stressed out too.
Yeah.
But, like, I was like, I think there's got to be a better way. Have you tried yoga?
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, and mine wasn't like everyday stress. Mine was usually the hormonal stress. Yeah. And I didn't want to go on Xanax.
No.
So I'm like, a glass of wine, 3 days in a row, once a month is not going to do anything anymore.
No.
So,
and I think that's the thing. Like, you have to kind of like track it and keep. And that was what they were saying today on the radio, was that it was a good idea. It's a good idea that when you are drinking, to keep track of where you are, when you're doing it, how you feel before, during, and after. Like, how much did you take? That sort of thing. Because I think you're right. Like, it's like, okay, so I do it 3 days a month because I'm gonna murder someone if I don't. Right. Yeah.
This is for everyone's benefit.
Right. Or is it, every day at nap time I put the kids to bed and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I gotta have a bottle of wine. Like, like there's differences, and you have to kind of figure out sort of why you're doing it and what it does for you. Like, and that's my thing with my husband. So I'm sort of like, why are you drinking this? What are you hoping will happen to you? And he's more just, he hates like shit sticking around the house. And so he's like, we've had this bottle of wine.
He's not a hoarder.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, like, it's fine. So and I'm like, just dump it down the drain then. Like, honestly, I don't know that anyone's going to drink it. So go ahead and just.
Especially that crappy margarita in a can.
Yeah. I'm like, I was just too lazy to throw it out. Like, I thought maybe somebody might come into my house and be like, ooh, do you have a margarita in a can? And I can be like, why, yes, I do.
When I come to your house, that's the first thing I'm going to ask.
I'm going to make sure I have it for you. But it's like, I just, I'm just too lazy to throw it out. So I was like, just throw it out. But he's just he's like, no, it's wasting. Yeah. Which is his motivation for everything.
Yeah.
And so, waste not, want not, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I bought a bunch of wine. I had a book signing, and I bought a bunch of wine for the book signing. And now we have like all this wine left over, but I don't want him to know about it. Like I can't even like tell him about it because then he'll want to drink it all too.
It's tiny.
Yeah. I'm just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, do you want to drink wine with us? Would you like to have with your meal? Or, and he's like, nah, we just got to get rid of it. so I don't know. So I'm going to tell him about dry January so maybe he can go on dry January.
Oh, there you go. And then you won't have to feel like he has to drink. Okay, so if you hear any snorting right now, like a pig, that is my daughter's dog has wandered into the room. And Ross is outside the door trying to coax her out.
Hi.
She's the noisiest dog. The French bulldogs, they are just super noisy.
She's hilarious.
She's like, what is going on? Okay, going out.
Is she drunk?
Maybe she is drunk. We'll just cut this part off.
You're so crazy.
Very adamant about being in the mix. Gave her a little snack and everything. She just came right over here and barged
Well, I saw her like outside the door, and I was like, "Well, she's quiet, so okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She cracks me up. What the hell?
I know, she's the noisiest dog.
All right, so I have another 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so I want to ask you more about the perimenopause symptoms.
Oh, okay.
So you had like really hard
PMS.
PMS.
When in my 20s and stuff, I never had PMS, and then after I had my second son, I started getting PMS.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really strange. But then, like in my late 30s and early 40s, like I really got it bad. Like for no reason, I would just be like angry and irritated, and like everything just got on my nerves, and I didn't want to like lash out at my children, but like sometimes it was like super hard to control, and so I would drink.
See, and I think for me,
but like one glass, like I wasn't getting drunk for it.
You're just, like you said, taking the edge off.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like I don't know, I think I'd be angrier.
No, because drinking makes me mellow.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm like happy,
makes
goofy,
me kind of
giggly.
hyper. Unless it's like tequila, then I lie. Then I just tell lies.
That sounds fun.
I'm kind of fun on tequila, but it's really really bad. I mean, in terrible lies. What's your name? Britney Spears. Like, like there's like I don't even like make up a story. I'm just like, no, I'm Britney Spears. Fuck you. Sit down. Like, do you want an autograph or not? And so now it's more like, and as I'm older, now it's more sort of like what I can and can't drink because.
Oh yeah.
And like wine kind of makes me mellow, but it makes me very sleepy.
Yeah, it makes me sleepy.
And so I kind of prefer to have maybe just a beer or like, some sort of liquor that's not tequila.
Right.
and not a shot.
Yeah.
That I can just sort of nurse all night and do that because otherwise I can't sleep after I drink.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a really hard time going to
sleep.
sleep.
That problem. It just makes me, obviously,
the wine
Eve,
especially.
I slept for a couple hours in a chair.
No, I'll come home.
Like I wasn't drunk. I swear, I only had a glass and a half of wine.
Passed out.
Yeah.
Spilled a whole bottle on myself.
Well, I have thought about lately, and as I'm writing, I realize that a lot of times when my characters are having conversations, they're often like with a meal or they're in a car or what have you. And so like I've thought, especially like with this paranormal women's fiction, like I had my character in a lot of situations where she was drinking wine. And so like for some reason, and I'm not even sure why, but I've been a lot more like cognizant of my characters are drinking. Well, why are they drinking? Is it a social reason? Is it, whatever reason? Yeah. Like, and I think Darcy has a moment of stress drinking, but like a glass. Like she's not getting drunk. So, yeah.
That's interesting because anymore now, especially with those like thrillers and suspense novels, a lot of times it's like they're blackout drunks.
Right.
Right. And so you can't you know, you can't trust their narration.
Right.
They're blackout drunks or whatever.
Right.
So
yeah.
there it makes sense for that character, but I've never really thought about it as just a casual glass of wine.
Yeah, like I'm like they're having wine at dinner again. I'm like, okay.
Look at her alcohol.
Yeah. No, it just makes me think about it. Like, how many people have wine at dinner? Like, I go out to dinner and I don't always have wine with dinner, so
I think it's more the expense of it. Though.
Yeah, right?
Like, I'd rather spend my money on appetizers.
Yeah, right? Like, at least give or talk, you're doing a wine tasting, and I get to taste 8 wines for free because I have a membership. So,
that makes more sense. Yeah. But the rest of the time, I'm like, oh, I'll just have dessert instead.
Drinks are expensive.
They are.
Yeah, I'm too cheap to go out drinking.
So I like to do like happy hour. I can get like 1 or 2 drinks and then I'm done. And then I'm not getting food or whatever too. So
exactly.
That's funny. And then I always like to do I really, like I said, don't drink much at home. So but I do like to drink, like, I don't know, it's weird. I never really thought about this before, but a few years ago I hosted like a home shopping party kind of thing where they were going to buy, I don't even remember what I was selling, probably those bags, those 31 bags I released a couple years ago. Yeah. This was a long time ago. And I invited a group of women over to my house, and I didn't even think about serving alcohol.
Oh.
And I had like tea and lemonade. I did not have alcohol.
But there's a lot of those parties I go to that don't have alcohol.
Well, I just had not really thought about it. But I heard 2 women they were over kind of in the food and drink area, and I heard one of them say, "Are you kidding me?" Like, and so she was like, not even a fucking glass of wine.
Oh my god.
And at first I kind of thought, like, really? Do you need wine to buy a purse? Like, you know. And then I felt like, God, so it's kind of like you. I'm like, do people do that? Like, am I supposed to be serving alcohol at all of my events? That, you know, like, I mean, now obviously, like with a book signing or something, that I serve alcohol, mostly because drunk people buy more books, but no. True. And they laugh louder at me. But no, but I think like that makes sense, but I just never thought about it for like a purse buying party at my house.
I probably wouldn't have served wine.
And I just thought it was kind of strange.
But like when I was in Tennessee, like, and I've talked about this with Magnolia Steel Series, like there's a bunko party in there, and like there's an elaborate spread, and I'm like, that's autobiographical because I lived in Franklin, Tennessee, and that's the way it was, and there was a lot of drinking then. So like in Franklin, Tennessee, people would have expected wine at their bunko or 31, party. Where here, I like the few people I would know to invite to one of those wouldn't expect wine. So.
Now, I will say these 2 ladies were not close friends of mine, so I don't know them very well. So maybe that's just what, I think like my friends, but my friends also, I think they just would have been like, if you have something great, if you don't, no big deal, you know? And I just had not thought about it. And then I started noticing when I'd go to like other people's parties. And,
that
like,
they did.
And some people do.
Yeah.
And some people don't. But I feel like now as I go along, more people do.
Yeah.
I feel like now, and I don't know if it's because, Aldi has cheap wine now. Or like Aldi and Trader Joe are here now.
I'm gonna have some good Aldi wine.
Everyone's got leftovers from their boxes. Yeah. From the holidays.
Help yourself to the spread of little mini bottles of wine.
Because one thing I wrote about years ago is I wrote about too that like Halloween, that I would see dads out trick-or-treating with their kids pulling a wagon of booze behind them.
Oh, wow.
And I was always like, really? Like, you can't trick-or-treat like one night without getting stone drunk?
That's kind of weird.
Like, I always thought that was kind of weird. And even my daughter, like, I didn't say anything about it. Like, I wrote about it, but my kids don't read what I write. And even my daughter, like, a couple of years ago, she noticed. She came home and she was like, so-and-so's dad, like, had, a case of beer in the wagon. And she's like, we were tired. We wanted to ride in the wagon. And he said,
there was no room because of all the beer.
And she's like,
well, at least there was still some left.
I guess so. That was the good part of it. But I was like, yeah, that's interesting that they're out. They can't get through the night. I think that's the part too that I'm always really cognizant of, is like when I say like when and why, like can I not get through 2 hours of trick or treating?
Yeah.
Like without a drink in my hand?
Yeah. Maybe there's a problem there.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know. And is it just like, is it Americans that have that problem? Because, you think about other countries that, do they do that? I don't know that they, I mean.
I don't
You've
know.
been
That's a good
to
question.
France? Do they?
I mean, wine's pretty plentiful there, but and also I don't think they have as much problem with teenage drinking because teens can drink.
Yeah.
Like the age to buy alcohol is 18, and teens drink even younger than that, and with their families and stuff.
There's
so it's not taboo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we make it kind of a big deal, and then maybe it turns into a big deal. I don't know. I don't have any answers for this one, Denise.
I don't either. That's pretty rare for us.
I'm shocked.
We usually have all the answers.
We usually have hard answers. I will say my one answer is you should not need to pull a wagon of beer on Halloween. I'll give that one as my
agree
answer.
With that one. Yeah.
I think that if you can't trick or treat for 2 hours without a drink, you need to reevaluate what you're doing.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, if you need to come to have a drink at my 31 party, I guess. I'm sorry I didn't serve you alcohol.
Bring your own.
You should have let me know and I could have get you the margarita in a can. Yeah, BYOB, really, right? That would be kind of a fun thing. Well, and that's the other thing too. So we had my husband and I used to host a Chinese New Year's party every year.
Oh, fun.
And we used to host this big party every year, and we didn't serve alcohol at the party because a lawyer friend had told us, like, because we used to do it for our clients. We would do it for all of our real estate clients. And it was it was during the daytime, and people in families and everything. And our lawyer friend was like, if somebody had an accident or something like that and you served them, or if a minor got a hold of it because there's kids at this party,
right?
They're like, you'd be in trouble. They're like, your business would be in trouble, and they're like, it's just best not to,
right?
Like, just don't serve anything. And so we served just like sodas or whatever,
right?
And but people got in the habit of bringing, like, after a few years, like, people who'd been several years,
they were bringing their own.
They were bringing their own wine. They were like, hey, do you have a corkscrew? I'm like, do I have a? That is a good question. Don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so they got, at first it sort of like was like a gift to us. At first it was like, hey, I brought you a gift. And it was like, oh, thanks, put it over there with the wine that we never drink. And then when they realized like we weren't going to open it, then they were like, next year I'm going to bring my own wine to drink.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
Yeah. And then we stopped doing the party anyway after a while, but it just, not because of that, but it just was sort of interesting that it sort of did evolve into like BYOB, and
that's hilarious.
And we just, I got mad because people spilled red wine on my carpet. So not good. No. But
did it come out?
Yeah, finally. It took some work, but it came out. It's just people are strange. It's in my bedroom. I'm like, why are you in my bedroom?
Oh my gosh.
What were you doing in my bedroom?
I want to know.
Because it turned into, like, because by the end we would have like 350 people come through our house, like, and we would serve them out,
crazy.
and it would be like all day, and so it would just be a
like
madhouse. Yeah, and it would just be a madhouse, and so you couldn't keep track of where people were, and so we just gave it up. But luckily we didn't have anybody puke or anything, so just spilled red wine on my carpet.
So for some reason, that Santa Clarita Diet just came to mind. Have you seen that?
I've seen the previews.
Very first episode. She's a realtor, and she becomes a zombie, but in the process, you puke up all your guts. And she like puked in a house she was showing it.
Whoops.
I don't know why that came to mind. Maybe because I'm on 3 hours sleep, and I'm delirious a little bit right now. So I'm a little bit funnier right now, or maybe I'll like go back and listen to this.
Maybe you need a drink.
No, I'll be snoring.
It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. So she'll be asleep. She'll be asleep. Well, once again, we are out of time, Denise.
Yeah, this was a great topic.
Yeah, and I think now I'm not going to do dry January.
No, I'm not either.
But I am going to be a little bit more aware of, and I hope everybody else is.
Yeah.
I do write about this a lot, and I hear back from people that they do work on it, and I hope you do work on it.
Yeah, think about why you're drinking, and the reasons why,
and when, and where, and who you're with, and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because if you're using it as a constant stress reliever, then that might be a problem. You might need to reevaluate.
You have a problem that maybe alcohol can't really fix, and you should be looking at something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well, listen to us all preachy.
Well,
Okay, well, thank you
moms.
For joining us.
Do.
That's true. That's what we do. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe so we will just show up on your phone out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere because every Wednesday. And you can listen to us very easily. So we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for coming in. Bye.
Bye. Hi, Denise here. I know you're sad because the podcast episode is over and now you have to wait an entire week to hear us again. But guess what? You don't have to wait. You can listen to one of our audiobooks. Like to listen to true crime podcasts? I've got several mystery series to choose from. Or maybe you prefer to listen to podcasts about The Bachelor. Check out one of my rom-com series. You can find these audiobooks and many more at Audible, Apple Audiobooks, or check out my website, denisegroverspank.com, and click on audiobooks in the menu at the top. Happy listening!